So I am coming to you guys from the pastoral office here at the church. Man, it's been a blessed morning already. God woke me up early this morning to get reading in my Bible. I said, well, what do you want me to read, God? And he's like, the Word. So I'm like, okay. I just dove into it. And yesterday? It was yesterday. I got some pretty good words, man. So I want to start here in 2 Kings, and then I'll talk about a dream God gave me last night. I want to start here in 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 35 through 40. And it reads, For the Lord had made a covenant with them, with the descendants of Jacob, and commanded them, Do not worship any other gods or bow before them, or serve them, or offer sacrifices to them, but worship only the Lord who brought you out of Egypt with great strength and a powerful arm. Bow down to him alone and offer sacrifices only to him. Be careful at all times to obey the decrees, regulations, instructions, and commands that he wrote for you. You must not worship other gods. Do not forget the covenant I made with you, and do not worship other gods. You must worship only the Lord your God. He is the one who will rescue you from all your enemies. But the people would not listen and continued to follow their former practices. So while these new residents worship the Lord, they also worship their idols, and to this day, their descendants do the same. I think God pointed that out to me because of how we are in America. Right now, divorce and marriages are extremely under attack. Marriages are under attack. Divorce is at an all-time high because we don't have our rock, which is God, at the center of our marriage and of our lives. We don't go to God when we have troubles in our relationships. We just think that, well, I'll just leave. That's not how it works, especially when you make a covenant with God. But verse 40, but the people would not listen and continue to follow their former practices. That speaks so much as to how we operate today and how it's just kind of been passed down. For some reason, what grandma learned skipped mama's generation. What daddy learned skipped daddy's generation. What grandpa learned skipped daddy's generation as far as marriage and believing in Christ. And now it's trickled down to my generation and now my children's generation. We really have to break that cycle of people getting into these relationships and not understanding what it means to make a covenant with God. And then they think that they're so blessed because they go out here and find anybody. Well, the devil is like a lion in the wilderness who is always on the prowl. So would he not send five people that you'd be attracted to and be living in sin with and that's weird. And do all this extra stuff with? Of course he would. God is only going to send you the one right person that he has for you. If you mess that up, you got two options. You can either go back with God and go back to that covenant that you made with him and with that person, or you can stay out there in the wilderness. One of the sermons I listened to last night talked about how God is going to give you chances to come back to him before he leaves you to your own devices. And he's going to leave you in a stupor, in which case there's no help. There's no help from God for you. And what happens is when he leaves you in the wilderness, it's going to be all fun and games. It's going to be great. It's going to be good. You're going to be living your best life. And then slowly but surely, that poison seeps in that the devil gave you. Because the devil loves to give you what you ask for up front. The difference between God and the enemy is that God prepares you for what he's getting ready to give you. So he has to take you through storms. He has to take you through tests so as to build up your character. So that when he elevates you and he restores what he makes the enemy restore what he's taken away, you understand how to handle that blessing. The flip side is what the enemy does. He gives it to you at once. The enemy gives you everything that you think you want, everything that you say you want up front. So it's like, oh man, I'm blessed. And then it slowly corrodes away. It's like poison, what the enemy gives you. So I'm always wary when people's like, oh, well, hey, I want to give this to you. I'm like, now, I always say, hey, God, if it's you, let this be. If it's not you, take it away. And I'm going to tell you 90% of the time, he does that. 90% of the time, God takes it away like that. All right. So now we're going to go into chapter 18, verse 5 through 8. Hezekiah trusted in the Lord, the God of Israel. There was no one like him among all the kings of Judah. Either before or after his time, he remained faithful to the Lord in everything, and he carefully obeyed all the commands of the Lord had given Moses. So the Lord was with him, and Hezekiah was successful in everything he did. He revolted against the king of Assyria and refused to pay him tribute. So this is talking about how Hezekiah trusted in the Lord. He didn't bend to the ways of man, and he didn't allow himself to be corrupted by paying this tax, by paying this man. He didn't allow himself. What's that noise? He didn't allow himself to be taken for a ride by the enemy. To be continued.